Welcome to Falls Count Anywhere, where the wrestling ring meets the heart. Hosted by the gentleman Jody Powell, join us as we dive into the latest pro wrestling news and rumors, from the electrifying world of WWE to the inspiring stories of wrestling for Christ. This is your all-access pass to the action, the faith, and the hope. This is Falls Count Anywhere.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Falls Count Anywhere. I'm your host, the gentleman Jody Powell, and with me, as always, is the mad scientist deep in the Buchanan Laboratory. He is Mike Buchanan. Mike, how are you, buddy?
I am fine, sir. How are you?
Man, I couldn't be better if it was WrestleMania season. Wait a minute. It's almost WrestleMania season.
I think you're right.
Can't wait. We're almost on the road. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, and we're going to get to that. But what I want to know right now, my friend, what's cooking in the Buchanan Laboratory? What have you got going on down there, you mad scientist?
Well, I thought I might do something for the janitorial people, the ones that nobody sees. I'm working on trying to invent a self-cleaning toilet.
How did you know I had Mexican food tonight?
Well, before we went on the air, I saw that Taco Bell wrapper behind you on your desk. So,
yo quiero Taco Bell until I don't want Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? Taco Bell doesn't want me anymore. So a self-cleaning toilet. I got to tell you that
kind of. What were you saying?
I was just saying I can get down with that. You know what it will save? It will save that little red ring from forming inside the toilet like it does sometimes at my house.
You know, some kind of like ultraviolet light for the outside.
Okay.
Some kind of nanotechnology for the inside.
Nanotechnology.
We haven't figured out quite what to do for the handles yet, so that's why it's not in production just now.
Mike, so many jokes that I'm unable to say at this time. But yeah, I'm down with it, man. I'm liking the nanotechnologies. Let's get some microbots in there and clean the stuff out. You know, give Mr. Clean a little break. The scrubbing bubbles, forget that.
It's about time Mr. Clean retired.
Let him be on a beach somewhere. Let him retire a little bit. I agree with that. As long as those nanobots don't become self-learning and self-aware. I'd hate to be attacked by toilet cleaning nanobots.
That would be dirty. That would be dirty pool.
Yeah, that would not be good. It would also well, never mind. Anyway, that's a great segue. Let's nanobot right over into the WWE. And, I mentioned it earlier, and I was kind of half joking and kind of not, Mike, because this is my favorite time of year that we're approaching. I love the road to WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber mixed in there, all the way going to WrestleMania, and, of course, WrestleMania weekend. And one of my guilty pleasures of WrestleMania weekend is the WWE Hall of Fame. And so I'm curious, man. Let's talk predictions for this year's WWE Hall of Fame. I'd love to know who you think is deserving of the honor of the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'll throw out a couple of very, very unexpected people.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to visit Jobberville, USA.
No, the Enhancement Talent Hall of Fame. I love it.
The enhancement talent. Without these people, some of the people that are already in the Hall of Fame wouldn't be.
Hey, listen, they may be 0-467, but they're still over. They're still more over than The Miz.
That's right. So pat me on the back. But my first one is Barry Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz. Oh, yes.
Absolutely. I have to be careful because what?
It's the perma mullet. It's the perma mullet selection.
I have to be careful because he might have won a regional title sometime, but be that as it may. And then my other selection from Jobberville is Canada's greatest athlete, Iron Mike Sharp.
Yes, sir. Iron Mike Sharp. Let me tell you something. The fact that not only you and I, but so many people that are watching this right now just went like this and like this, speaks to why Iron Mike Sharp and Barry Horowitz should absolutely be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I am 100% behind that.
Absolutely.
Love that.
And then real quick, we put the Four Horsemen, or not we, WWE put the Four Horsemen in the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, I'm old, and off camera, you and I have talked about my senility increasing. But I don't remember the Four Horsemen as a unit ever competing in the WWE. Which leads me to the original foundation of the Four Horsemen, and that's the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, Ole and Gene Anderson.
Ole and Gene, the Andersons. I love it. I'll tell you who else would love it is the man that told you to keep his name out of your mouth. That'd be Chris Thunder Anderson, of the same family, the Anderson lineage of professional wrestling. Thunder would love that. Interesting fact, Ole Anderson is not in the WWE Hall of Fame, not even as a Four Horseman. They put in Flair, Blanchard, Arn, and Barry Windham.
Yeah. That was a travesty.
Well, at least it wasn't
Nothing
Paul
against
Roman.
Windham, but Windham wasn't near as important to the Horsemen as Ole was.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, at least it wasn't Paul Roma, though.
Oh, talk about a name you should keep out of your mouth, gentlemen.
Oh, he was like the pony of the Four Horsemen. But anyway.
What do you have?
Okay. All right. So we've talked about one of these in a previous show. I believe that Psycho Sid absolutely has deserved to be in a long time ago.
Absolutely.
But posthumously, let's put Psycho Sid into the Hall of Fame. My tag team that's going in: Demolition, Axe, and Smash. I can't believe they're not.
The Road Warrior ripoffs? What about Crash? You going to put all three of them in, or just two?
Well, we're not. If we're not putting Paul Roma, we're not putting Crash. Crash. I've got a female on my list.
Do you really?
Miss Elizabeth. Can you believe she's not in?
No.
She's another one posthumously that needs to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm going to save my next one for last because you and I have already talked about that one. Here are my two, I guess, maybe headliners, maybe bigger names. I think Umaga is one that's deserving my headliner. I don't necessarily think I'm okay with it. I'm not a huge proponent of it, but Batista is going to go in. He was scheduled to go in 2020. COVID happened. The Hall of Fame got canceled. And because of his movie career, he hasn't had time to actually show up and accept the invitation. I think they're going to make that happen this year. But I saved this one for last because you and I had a debate about it. I believe that just based on his tenure and everything he has done in the WWE, Michael Cole needs to go into the Hall of Fame.
I agree with that, Jody. As long as Michael Cole buys a ticket, he should be allowed to go into the Hall of Fame. If Gordon Soley is not in the Hall of Fame, Michael Cole should not be allowed within a 200-mile radius of the WWE, the NBC, the AFL-CIO, any kind of Hall of Fame.
I don't disagree with you on Gordon Soley. You think wrestling announcers, if you've been watching wrestling for any amount of time, Gordon Soley has to come to mind. I don't disagree with you on that. But Michael Cole has endured. I mean, it's a testament to just perseverance to be able to do it as long as he has under the thumbnail of Vince McMahon.
Did you select him over Jonathan Coachman? Was Coachman not available?
No, he wasn't. I'll just leave it at that. Hey, you know what I've got? I've got some people I don't want to see.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's already people in there that I didn't want to see be voted in. So I'm sure this should be pretty
There's
easy.
some on my list that are going in that you don't want to see. I got some people I don't want to see in the Hall of Fame, at least this year. I don't want to see the Hardys. And now, you and I don't want to see the Hardys for different reasons. I don't want to see the Hardys because I don't think they're done. Like, I would rather see one more run for the Hardys, and maybe it crashes and burns, kind of like the last Dudley run. Maybe it does, but I want to see it. I think they've got one more run in them. I think it's too early for the Hardys. You don't think they belong, period, do you?
No, I don't. I think that their last run was about 25 years ago. And that should have been the end of it.
Incredible talents. I hate that some of the talent was squandered. And,
Fair enough.
You know,
but like I told you off camera, it's pretty deadly version 1.0 to me.
Oh man, killing! And like I told you, you're killing my childhood. But if I'm being honest, you're killing more like my 20s. Okay, so I don't want to see the Hardys. I don't want to see Bray Wyatt. It's too soon. It's just too soon. And I don't need to see Uncle Howdy inducting him, right? I mean, I also don't need to see Mike Rotunda inducting him yet. Like, I don't think emotionally, I don't think he can hold it together. He's really had a hard time with the death of his son, Wyndham. Bray Wyatt absolutely deserves it. I think he will be in the Hall of Fame, just not this year. Not this year. I don't want to see John Cena. I don't want to see John Cena because Cena's not done. He's on his retirement tour. I don't want the Hall of Fame to become some kind of promotional gimmick for his retirement tour. Don't want that. Yeah. I don't want to see AJ Lee.
And I thought I was the person that didn't like the women's side of things.
I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't going to agree with. I don't think she deserves it. Yeah, I know she was a 3-time Divas champion. I just don't think her run was long. Now, if she has another run, which is predicted, like some people are saying she's going to show up for the Women's Royal Rumble, I'd be there for that. I want to see where it goes. I'd be interested to see where it goes. But I don't want to see it part-time. Like, if she's going to have another run, she needs to have another full-time run like CM Punk is doing. And if she's not, I don't want to see her in it. I just don't think she deserves it. I got a celebrity I don't want to see.
You don't want to see.
I don't want to see Bad Bunny.
Oh no.
I've heard rumors.
Wants to see Bad Bunny.
No. Let's not do that, please.
No.
But I do have a celebrity on my list. The celebrity
who's the celebrity on your list?
The celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame deserves to have, and I can't believe she's not in, Cyndi Lauper.
I would have thought she'd have been like a first ballot Hall of Famer just because of what she did with WrestleMania.
She brought wrestling into the mainstream. She was the conduit with WrestleMania, the original first WrestleMania, with everything that she did in terms of working with Captain Lou Albano and Roddy Piper. I mean, she was the first real celebrity that got into a storyline in wrestling that I recall. I mean, maybe there's been one prior to her, but she is the one that brought it into the mainstream. If it wasn't for Cyndi Lauper, I don't think we'd have WrestleMania. I really don't. So she absolutely is deserving of that. That was a no-brainer. I mean, come on. A couple of honorable mentions. Haku or Ming. We see his kids now in WWE making a run with the bloodline and all of that. I think Haku should get a shot. Maybe not this year. I had a hard time replacing someone on my list with Haku. The other honorable mention that I think will eventually get in the Hall of Fame that deserves it is Lex Luger. I could not put Lex Luger and Miss Elizabeth on the same card or on the same year. That ended badly. And praise God for Lex Luger's coming to Christ, for Lex Luger, for giving his life to Christ, but there are just some things that don't need to be paired, and those are two, in my opinion. So that's the list. The Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame, coming up on the road to WrestleMania. We'll have to see if old Iron Mike and Barry get in. I think they should, man.
Better than Coco Beware.
Hey, if it wasn't for enhancement talent, there wouldn't be talent. You know what I'm saying? Well, wrestling fans, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to give you an update on the WFC, and we're going to talk a little bit about WWE's second show on Netflix. All of that, plus a Finding Tomorrow coming up later in the show. We'll be back right after these messages. Hello, wrestling fans. The gentleman Jody Powell here. Are you searching for an engaging speaker for your next church event, civic meeting, industry conference, or a company-wide motivational session? Well, look no further. I'd be honored to bring energy, insight, and inspiration to your event. With experience as a 2022 Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking semifinalist, I know how to connect with audiences, both large and small. Whether it's an intimate gathering or a packed auditorium, I'll deliver a memorable and impactful message tailored to your needs. Visit today at www.jodypowellspeaks.com to explore my keynotes, talks, and trainings. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Book me today. You'll be glad you did. Welcome back, wrestling fans, to Falls Count Anywhere. And I just want to dive in real quickly and talk about Wrestling for Christ for just a moment. A little bit of a hiatus here, a hideous hiatus, as I said to you earlier, Mike. But a couple of weeks off for the guys, a couple of weeks off for the promotion. We're going to be back with some live action, fingers crossed, February 1st on Saturday Night Praise and Power Hour. We've run a couple of reruns on some, just keeping the storylines together. But here's the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, Mike. I'm looking forward to the completion of the Television Turmoil Tournament. And that's going to be coming up to introduce whatever's inside this briefcase. I've had this briefcase for almost 5 months now, and I'm dying to open it. I had it under the Christmas tree. I almost opened it up Christmas morning. But the
Santa Claus bring it to you, or Santa Claus didn't take it away from you?
Well, Santa Commissioner brought it to me, and turning out to be more like the Grinch. Yeah, it's just interesting who this commissioner is going to be and who it's going to turn out to be. Like I said, we're not seeing eye to eye on a lot of things, and that's okay. But boy, I tell you, there's some questionable decisions being made, and some real alliances that I'm finding, that I'm suspecting. And those alliances start with Dylan Dollar and Travis Roberts, the Foundation. So it'll be interesting to see if those alliances pan out with the commissioner, if and when they decide to make themselves known. Another exciting, can't wait to get into talking with the Carolina Dreamer after his title loss to Shane Austin at Happy Brawladays. The way Shane Austin won that world title, we saw just a few weeks ago when he was fighting with Nathan Sawyer, the type of champion he's going to be. So anxious to hear Carolina Dreamer's plans to chase down Shane Austin and regain that title that technically he was never pinned for, nor did he submit to give up. Shane Austin pinning Ken Magnum in that triple threat match. All of that coming up, fans, on Wrestling for Christ. Stay tuned. Follow Wrestling for Christ on Facebook. Also, Mike, there's a new YouTube channel with Wrestling for Christ episodes on it. If you go to YouTube and search Wrestling for Christ WFC, all one word, or one handle, I guess. Search for that, and you will find the Wrestling for Christ YouTube channel with most of our episodes up until, I believe, right after Happy Brawladays. And new episodes will be added as they're added to Abundant Television as well. And Mike, we talked about too before the break. We said let's talk a little bit about Netflix 2, the second episode of WWE Raw. And it turns out that I believe that Raw is just going to run episodes for an undisclosed amount of time each week. This week, the episode was like 2 hours and 36 minutes long. I guess you can do that when you're on Netflix. You don't have the time constraints of a network, and that's pretty good. You can kind of do what you need to do in the time that you need to do it. And that's what they did.
WCW Monday Nitro, when they'd sometimes run over.
Yeah, they ran over. Forget the networks. We're going to run over. We do what we want. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I hear that there was somebody made a debut, Pinto Zero or Zero Pinto or something like that.
You are not right. You are not right. There were no Pintos on Raw.
I'm mad.
There was no Pinta. The Luchador. And that's really what I want to talk about in terms of Netflix. I mean, it was an okay show. It was decent. It was okay. Guess what? Drew McIntyre's in the Royal Rumble. So is Seth Rollins. So is CM Punk. Why do they have to make such a big deal about announcing that they've entered the Rumble? We know you're going to be in the Rumble. And they got pops for it. I'm like, well, duh, you're going to be in the Rumble. You always are. So anyway, we're going to talk Royal Rumble coming up, and I can't wait when that field is set for us to talk about predictions on who's going to win that. But what happened on Netflix, Penta making his debut against Chad Gable, and in 10 minutes, Mike, Penta became a bigger superstar than 2/3 of the roster on Raw or SmackDown. What an incredible match. What an incredible promo afterwards. The guy is going to be huge. He's going to be big, and I am here for it. And kudos to Chad Gable, who put him over clean and made Penta that superstar. Chad Gable, most underrated talent in the WWE, deserves more than he's been given, and is shown to be a true company man with how he put Penta over. And I hope Penta at some point thanked Chad Gable, whether in the ring or after the match, because he did him a favor. He did him a solid. He really did.
Cool.
It'll be interesting to see though where WWE Creative goes with Penta. I'm a little worried. Let's not relegate him down to the LWO. Let's not associate him with other luchadors or other Hispanics. Let's let La Penta, and I've added a lot to it. I think it's just Penta. Let's let Penta be his own superstar and really build stories and angles just like any other superstar does. So come on, WWE Creative. Let's not relegate and stereotype and group individuals into classifications that are similar to who they are. Let's let the man stand on his own. Well, Mike, it's almost that time, buddy. Right after these messages, we're going to be back with Finding Tomorrow. Stay tuned. Oh, hello, wrestling fans. The gentleman Jody Powell here. And I can't tell you how much I love this devotional written by my partner on Falls Count Anywhere, the mad scientist, Mike Buchanan. He wrote this book called Feeling Down, Look Up. You want to get your copy today? It's on Amazon. So you're going to want to search for Feeling Down, Look Up by Mike Buchanan. And it's got verses, it's got stories, it's even got a place to make notes. It's fantastic. You'll thank me later.
Hi, I'm Jeff Dixon. And like many of you, I sit around sometimes and I think to myself, what would I like to watch on TV? Chris Whaley, sitting here with me. You ever have that problem?
All the time. And I have come to a great answer also.
What's your answer?
There's a great show called The Clash.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, and guess who are the hosts of that?
I have no idea.
Jeff Dixon and Chris Whaley.
I would love that show if I could get a chance to see it.
Comes on every Monday night on Abundant TV at 7:30.
Now is that Eastern Standard Time?
Eastern Standard Time.
7:30?
7:30.
Monday night?
On Monday nights here on Abundant TV.
Well, there's the answer then. If you need something to watch,
there it is. And we'd love to have you.
Welcome back, wrestling fans. We had a kind of a 2-week layoff where we were following up with where we interviewed and followed up with a list we had a couple of weeks ago. And so before our final prophetic Finding Tomorrow, if you will, we talked about the importance of Christ being born. We talked about the importance of Christ resurrecting. But there's one more piece of it. Because there's still... Jody, what do we determine about the number of prophecies about his coming and his return?
109, I believe, unfulfilled prophecies that have yet to be fulfilled. They are unfulfilled, but they are more likely yet to be fulfilled.
Gotcha. So with all those that need to be fulfilled, one of the major ones is that Christ is returning for his church. You'll hear it referred to as the rapture. If you've seen the Left Behind movies, if you've read the Left Behind books, that's what this is talking about. Where those that believe in Christ and have made him their savior are just going to simply disappear. Nobody's going to know what happened generally. Probably some of the family members will understand. Some of the pastors that should have been doing their job will unfortunately understand too late. And the media and the government are going to come up with all sorts of stupid reasons. It's the aliens. It's global warming. It's military. Whatever they're going to say. But what it is just another prophecy fulfilled. And those of us that believe in Christ will be taken to heaven. And the 7 years that follow that will be worse than anything you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
You say, Mike, how do you know this? Weren't all the prophecies fulfilled? Like Jody said, we're still waiting on 100 or so, at least. And on May 14th, 1948, Israel became a nation. Why is that important? Because Isaiah said it would happen in a day. And That's what happened. One day. That's all it took.
That's right.
And then Ezekiel in chapter 37 said that a valley of dry bones would come together with flesh. And if you've seen the pictures of places like Dachau and other concentration camps in Germany and seen those people, the Jewish people that came out of there, they looked like skeletons. But God brought them back to Israel.
Yep.
Prophecies are still being fulfilled. Jody, what do you think that means for people nowadays?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, if that doesn't light your fire, to know that, hey, you know what? And I hear people say this all the time. The Bible is just a collection of old literature written by a bunch of men thousands of years ago. Well, yeah, it absolutely is. It's written by men who were inspired by God and who have over time, over 1,500 years, it took to write the Bible and all the books that are in it as we know it today. And over time, we have seen prophecy after prophecy after prophecy fulfilled. And to know that there are some that are still left to be fulfilled, we get to experience that. We get to see that. You always say, well, boy, it'd be great if we were alive in the time of Jesus and we could hear him preach, or we could see the miracles. We could be assured that he was who he said he was. Well, let me tell you, first of all, there were people that were alive back then that weren't sure he was who he said he was. So there's no guarantee of that. But number two is that we are living in the time that God put us in. And this time that God has put us in, fans, I'm going to tell you something. We are racing at warp speed toward the day that Christ returns. It's coming. The Bible calls them birth pains, labor pains. We're experiencing contractions, folks, and it's coming. And if that doesn't excite you, then I want you to take a look inside your heart to understand do you really have a relationship with Christ? Because I can't wait to see him. I can't wait for him to get here. So you talk about the rapture, Mike. Sometimes I go running outside and start jumping, trying to get it to start.
Rapture practice. Absolutely.
Yes. Hurry up. Don't forget, happy holidays on December 14th, right here on Abundant TV. It's so exciting, and check out this video. Even fathom what it's going to be like. It's like my dearest, closest friend is finally coming to visit, but he's not coming to visit. He's coming to take us home.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait.
So as you're listening to this, if you don't know that Savior, he's still waiting for you.
Yes.
But time is running out. I'm not saying this to scare you, but we've got fires running rampant. We've got yo-yos running through crowds.
And that's just here in America.
Yeah.
What's going on in the Middle East is the labor pains are even greater there.
It's time to come home, folks.
That's right.
We're calling you for Jesus.
Finding tomorrow, fans. You want to find tomorrow, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. You want to find it as quickly as possible when it comes to really getting your heart right with the Lord. And we hope you do that. We're here for you. You see the email. Send us an email if you need us to pray for you. If you want more information, we'll be glad to share that with you. Well, fans, I got to tell you what, you got to stay tuned, because not only are we headed warp speed toward the rapture, but we're headed warp speed toward the clash with Chris Whaley and Jeff Dixon right here on Abundant TV.